actually got new ones now.
I know.
Because that's my objective is to.
No, they're all Salinas.
Oh, okay.
So actually, I get some to you. Do you want it to get delivered to you?
It's all the
Like a
nutrients
box?
and vitamins.
Veggie stuff. Okay, because this one's more specifically for agriculture, I mean, client, but what's their goal? So the way it's set up now, it's like there's no pieces for them, but we have them in the and I just. overall, like,
Oh, okay.
overall.
I was watching the show.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I just have
Yeah, so you can do this one that they know there's other programs.
So I put
Collagen.
collagen.
So let me.
Yeah.
These joints exactly.
There's some information that. It's just like the number of vehicles. The types of vehicles they use for their transit.
So that helped you give.
I've already gotten all this information from home.
Oh, okay.
Okay, the lady that was carrying her.
And, yeah, so.
Right, let me,
Right, so
Let
I
me-
decided on the. Yes. Not. And that happened, a lot of discontinuation.
Yeah, there's like facility, general administration,
And it's not.
vehicle operations.
No, it's not.
So Christine,
Vehicle maintenance.
I count,
It's kind of
does
weird.
Jessica and Jennifer
They
count?
For Yellow Cat's vehicle, since they maintain their own vehicles, so.
Right.
It's like-
I didn't see that. Isn't just the family.
Well, I feel that
Everybody else on Family Resource Center for 20 years. So everything that I learned, everything. It's different age.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Same areas, same charges. same-
Yes, we
So
have.
we need that same thing.
Gambled and it paid off.
We did that.
Since I don't have the gavel. Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to call the meeting to order at 1:03 PM on this fine Wednesday afternoon. At this time, I'd like to ask if any guests in person would like to introduce themselves. And if any guest via, go ahead.
I'll go. My name is Maribel Trejo. For those who don't know me, I work with the Alliance on Aging. I am the transportation coordinator, and I assist with enrollment and all of the services available in Monterey County for transportation.
Perfect. And would any guest via Zoom like to introduce themselves by raising their hand first? Nope. All right. With that, let's go ahead and commence with roll call.
Okay. Member Stephen Macias,
Present.
member Jennifer Ramirez. I don't see Jennifer virtually.
Yeah, she's in the top
think
right
it's on the-
corner,
Zoom, via Zoom.
The color.
the hearts.
Oh, okay, got it.
There we go. I couldn't unmute myself. Yes, I'm here on Zoom.
Member Jessica McKillop. I see her hands up.
Present.
Member Bobby Merritt, actually Bobby is excused absent today. Member Aaron Hernandez,
Present.
member Reina Groves,
Present.
member Maria Magana,
Present.
member Leticia Garcia. Oh, Leticia is also excused absent today. Member Diana Jimenez.
Here.
Thank you. Member Alejandro Fernandez. I don't see
No,
him.
don't see you.
Okay. Chair, you have a quorum.
All right, thank you. Moving on to the public comments on matters not on the agenda. Mr. Sidorik.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you for all members of this committee, volunteers. We couldn't do what we do without your assistance and help. I'm here today to just bring you up to speed on some exciting news with regard to new services that we're offering. You may recall that in May of 2021, Monterey Salinas Transit became the first transit operator in California and the first transit operator in the United States in a population under 1 million to offer the ability to use a debit or credit card or enabled payment device to pay for your trip on transit, allowing for a quick, hygienic way of boarding your buses. Earlier this year, we were able to become the first transit agency in the world, beating New York and London and other much larger municipalities, to register your payment device using a login.gov address to register your senior status, making you eligible to receive a half-price discount using your contactless payment device. We were super pleased that on Veterans Day this year, November 11th, having had worked with the Veterans Affairs Department Project Lighthouse with an assist from Congressman Panetta to move this through, we're able to release the same service to veterans by using a login.gov account. You can register your payment card and receive your half-price fare on any MST service. So what this does is, the veteran or the senior doesn't have to bring their paperwork into an MST office to be verified. And MST staff doesn't have to worry about filing or keeping that personal data and getting into eligibility verification. So it's all done online using government sources. So no more having to carry your DD 214s or bringing in your social security card or bringing in, your VFW card and all those other pieces of paper and cards that you may or may not have. You can just log into your account and do all the eligibility verification online. Currently, we also offer the half-price discount. You can, if you're a current MST courtesy card holder, where we've already pre-approved you, you can also register online with that to receive that discount for contactless payment. And we're working on an eligibility verification for persons with disabilities. We're trying to identify that single database because various states, various localities have different versions of what's considered a person with disabilities. So we're still working with our partners at the state to identify that definition so they'll be able to offer the same service to persons with disabilities in the near term. So just wanted to provide that really and a shout out to our staff for working so hard on making this happen. And, truly our leaders, it's hard to believe little old MST is getting this stuff accomplished before some of the largest transit operators in the world. So real proud to be part of that. Thank you.
Thank you.
May I ask a question, sir?
Yes.
I know that you're working to include or improve the services for people with disabilities.
Right.
And the definition is the thing in question. And I'm wondering whether or not you will be using the ADA as a definition of what a person with a disability is.
We may be, maybe. I mean, I think the ADA is actually perhaps a more strict definition than what we currently allow. As far as, our MST Rides program has ADA, type of eligibility verification, whereas our courtesy card program is a little more lenient. So it may be something as if the DMV database, which is the keeper of all of our IDs, whether you drive or just have a personal identification, they do have a disability verification that may be. We would like to use the DMV. We actually started out with this project because they also know whether you're a veteran, and they also know whether you're a senior. And we started out this project trying to access the DMV's database. But they're the DMV. So we actually ended up using a federal database because we just couldn't seem to get through the DMV, as is I think anyone who deals with the DMV understands. They have their own issues, whether it's staffing or culture or budget, I don't know. But our goal is to keep moving forward and stepping sideways, around, over, through to get these projects delivered and we'll figure out something.
Thank you.
Sure.
Yep, thank you.
Anything else? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, any other public comments on matters not on the agenda? All right, hearing none. Thank you, Mr. Sidorik, for all your good work with MST. All right, moving on to the consent agenda, approving the minutes of the meeting from September 27th, 2023.
That is.
No. Yeah, Aaron makes a motion. And can I get a second?
Second.
Second from Marina.
Oh,
Marina, yeah.
Arena.
And all in favor? Any opposed? All right, so passes. Item 4, membership. Just so everyone is aware, elections are coming up at the next meeting on January 31st. So we will be voting for chair and vice chair. And then the announcement of MAC vacancies. Christy, anything to add to that one?
Yes, so we do have few members whose membership will expire at the end of January. You should have already received the notification from Ruben. If not, I'll follow up again later to remind everyone. And then one who did respond was Jennifer, so I believe that's part of our agenda item to be discussed later.
And I do have Jessica, not Jennifer, on the agenda to be discussed at the next 4-3.
So it's Jessica's fortune.
Jessica, okay.
Mhm.
All right, so we will move on then to recommend Jessica McKillop to the MST Board of Directors for MAC membership as the representative for ITN Monterey County. And makes a motion. Can I get a second? Maria seconds. And then all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any discussion? All right, seeing none, Jessica. No. And then no new business and action items on the agenda. No presentations listed on the agenda. So we will move to reports and information items, starting with David for the MV Transit and MST Ride service updates.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. Okay, let's just go ahead and start with this first slide here. This is the a graph that shows the trips by purpose of all of our rides passengers. It's kind of small for you guys to read it. Hopefully you have it on a handout, but as you can see, we have, a majority of our passengers are educational and training, which I'm assuming would be falling into school and employment. And also we have a lot of we transfer or transport a lot of dialysis patients and medical patients that are our main clientele that we are picking up and dropping off on a daily basis. And then, it goes down to, just recreational shopping and things like that. Just kind of, it's a good breakdown to kind of get an idea of the types of passengers that we're transporting and their needs that they have. I'm trying to refine this a little bit better as we see our clients calling to schedule trips to hone in a little bit more in depth as far as what they are using the services for, so we can get a clear and more accurate reading on this. It's pretty accurate right now as we look at it, but I want it to be a little more refined as we go into this new year. And then it also has for taxi trips as well. It's pretty much the same kind of breakdown and the priorities for dialysis and medical. and education and training. And if we can go to the next slide, please. I'll just.
Yeah, come in. What's up?
Our next slide is our rides trips and the amount of trips that we've had over this past fiscal year 24. As you can see, there has been a steady increase over the last few years as far as the ridership demand. Last month, each month is going up. This past month of October, one was hit 9,000 rides trips, which is pretty much back to almost pre-pandemic numbers for us right now, which is a good thing. The services are much needed in the community, as you can see. Rides passengers as well has increased. It's a steady increase over the past 4 months. It's going up and up. I just looked at it for this current month of November. It's trending down a little bit. That has to do with it's the holiday season. That we just had and limited service that was out there, but passengers staying home more, so that's going to drop down a little bit, as you can see from the trend from the past years. But ridership definitely is up, which is a good thing. All right, and if we can go to the next slide. My notes right. I had to make sure I was on the right page, guys. Sorry about that. Okay, this next slide here shows you our rides passengers per vehicle hour. We have a goal of 1.87 passengers per hour that we try to hit on a monthly basis. Right now, we're just below that at 1.84. We've kind of been holding steady with that. A lot of that has to do with, we're getting more drivers out on the road now. And so I've got more availability for drivers, which we don't have to transfer as many passengers on one bus as we have had to over the past, 5-6 months. We had a severe driver shortage, we try to recover from the pandemic. I'm happy to say that we are now finally fully staffed at our division, which I'm very excited about. Which we'll discuss in a little bit here for the on-time performance. But right now I've got 70 full-time active drivers on board. We are still continuing to hire. I've got 4 other drivers that are in the behind the wheel training aspect of the hiring process. 2 are in classroom this week, and 4 more are in the qualification stages, the background qualification stages of the hiring process. So, I've got 10 in the works, and my ultimate goal to have is 85 full-time active drivers on staff. That way, we're out there for the community, so we could service them better, get them to their appointments on time, and just to recover from any setbacks that we may have. If we have any, leave of absence or FMLAs or for whatever reason, I don't want to have a major setback where I'm trying to catch up. So I want to have that backfill readily available. So that's why I'm trying to overstaff right now, and we're well on that path. And so I'm very happy about it. My staff is happy about it. It makes things a lot better and a lot easier for our dispatchers as well. And our drivers. Takes a lot of pressure off our drivers too, so they don't feel as rushed and hurried as they're out there trying to get to the clients in a timely manner. The graph below on this slide is our on-time performance. As you can see, over the past 3 months, we were poor. We weren't up to speed where we should be. We're in the 70 percentile, which I wasn't happy with, but we were doing the best we can. Like I said, we had the driver shortage we were trying to overcome, and it put a lot of stress on our drivers. But over the last 2 months, or actually the last month, we went up to 81%, almost 82. Currently, right now for this month of November, we're at 86.5%. So our ultimate goal is to have a 90% on-time performance at the end of the month, and we're heading in that right direction, as you can see. And it's just only going to get better as we go forward and we get our drivers trained and out there on road. So I'm happy to say that there is that nice improvement there, and I'm just, you know, can only expect, you know, better things in the next coming months as well. And just before I got up here, I checked, and our on-time performance for today is at 93%, so which is a good thing. So you know, so that's makes me happy. All right, if we can go to the next slide. Okay, this is our basically our call hold times. It's for our dispatchers. You know, I have 7 total dispatchers at the moment, which I'm fully staffed with, but we do have several calls that they take throughout the day where there is some long hold times and wait times. I'm working with the dispatch team to try to wrap up their call while they have the client on the phone with the reservation, instead of finishing the call, putting the next person on hold, wrapping up the previous call, you know, to lessen this hold time. You know, whenever you're on hold, and even if it's just for, you know, 30 seconds to a minute, it feels like it's 5. So I understand, you know, the other side of that. And so I'm working with our dispatch team to improve upon that. I do have a training program that I'm going to be setting up. I just got information from that yesterday, had a meeting about it, but we're going to go through an ultimate platinum customer service training for all our dispatchers. Well, probably by next month that should be completed. All our dispatchers will be going through it. It's to help improve their customer service with our clients, how to handle certain calls. Right now, you know, we get dispatchers come in, we sit them down next to somebody, and we show them how to make a reservation, how to work the dispatch portal that we use, and have at it. You know, and we hope that they're good customer service. We listen on calls, we still train them, but this is going to put them through a more rigorous training aspect of it, how to better understand what our main objective is for our clients and our company, and which has had some great success at other divisions. And so we're going to be implementing this next month. So that'll be a welcomed training for all our dispatchers coming up. And so we should start seeing some improvements on these call hold times. And then if you can go to the last slide, please. This is a graph as far as our service complaints that we may get. There was a large increase in the month of October, August and October. A lot of these service complaints had to do with, you know, the arrival times of our buses and their trips. They were picked up late or dropped off late, or, you know, basically those are the majority of it, you know, and, you know, so that is going to be reduced, and you'll see some improvement as with the staffing improvements of our division as well. So, but yeah, I would, you know, the graph kind of speaks for itself, you know, but yeah, those are our service complaints, basically, like I say, for on-time performance. And I'm hoping to see and planning to see much improvement there. And that is our last slide for MV. Any questions?
I have a few questions.
Sure.
All right, so looking at slide 10 versus 11, just for the month of, I'll just say November, I have MST rides passengers at 9,000, but I only have about 4,500 trips by purpose. Is not everybody being tracked, or is that double because one's to and one's from?
That is a good question. I don't have the answer for you on that one. I'd have to get back to you on that.
Okay, and then I know with the complaints, you had mentioned late arrivals. How late are the arrivals?
Well, it varies. You know, it could range from 15 minutes to 30 minutes to 45 minutes. You know, unfortunately, you know, when I was in the peak of the driver shortage, yeah, I was seeing some where it was, you know, up to 45 minutes delay time. Which, you know, we try to monitor that and adjust our drivers to if we see a passenger is going to be late, we'll try to locate a driver that's closer in that area that can pick up that person that is going to be picked up late or dropped off late, and try to make those adjustments. But that was difficult with, like I say, I hate using the same term, that driver shortage. It was tough to shuffle passengers around to pick this person up, but not suffer another passenger that was on the bus. You know, part of our objective here is to try to eliminate the time that they spend on the bus. You know, we don't want them on the bus for, you know, really for over greater than an hour. So if we can get them to their destination within, you know, a reasonable time under that hour, then it's a success. But, you know, back, like I say, with this graph here, over the last 3 months, that was tough trying to make some of those adjustments. Now with having the greater staff that we have right now, we are able to do that. And that's what's helping improve that on-time performance, because our dispatchers are looking at it. They're able to monitor and see who's available, because the drivers have more, if you want to call it, gap time in between dropping off passengers. So they have that flexibility now where they can go pick somebody else up and not, you know, at the hands of someone else on the bus being, you know, dropped off late or picked up late.
Okay. The only reason I mention that is because I have a client who received a 3:30 pickup scheduled. It was actually picked up at 6:30. So that's 3 hours of wait time.
Oh, that is a long wait time.
And
If
that was
you,
on October 25th.
okay, if you can give me the name after the meeting or right now, whenever you'd like, I can look at that and get back to you to find out what the situation was on that.
I'll email it to you.
Sound good? Yeah, that's a long time to wait. And yeah, send me the information. I'll research and I'll get back to you on that. Find out what the deal was.
This happened to a few of our clients at the Blind Center, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, there are some restrictions that some of our clients do have, where they don't want to be put on a taxi. We try to use Yellow Cab Taxi as a backup or as a resource for us if we can't fit them on a bus. So we will, you know, utilize Yellow Cab Taxi. Some of our clients don't prefer the taxi, or they have a mobility device that they can't be put on a taxi. So we, you know, they can only be riding on a bus. So there's a lot of different variables that could be at hand there. But give me that information. I'll definitely research and get back to you.
Will do. Thank you.
Yep. Yeah.
Question, can you let me know, for example, like this person that was 3 hours, do they let them know saying, you know, we're coming, we're behind, we're et cetera? Because I understand a lot of the challenges is because, you know, someone is in a wheelchair. That takes time. The person to get in, the bus driver to assist them. The next person can also be in a wheelchair, you know, all these. Is that part of the delay? And then why is it not understandable? Because again, you know, you have a person or two persons that are in a wheelchair, but then a person that walks perfectly.
Mhm.
So do our passengers realize there are gonna be some challenges regarding arrival and time off?
Yeah, I would hope they would. Yeah, because I mean, when you do have several people in a mobility device that you're trying to put on a bus, if you have to, you know, it does take time. You have to, you know, get them on the bus, you use the lift, you have to properly make sure they're secured. And, you know, we can fit 3 to 4 mobility devices, depending on the size, on a bus at one time. And then, so getting them properly secured on the bus, and then at the same time, dropping them off and then getting them off the bus, that does take some time. So I kind of hope that our passengers do see that aspect of it and understand that there is some time constraints with that. You know, So yeah, it's a,
Because I can see that the passengers that don't have these challenges are the ones that complain. Because of the duration of, like I said, I had witnessed in a regular bus, the excellence of the bus driver making sure that the wheelchair got in right, secured them, making sure that everything was correct. And, I was like, wow, this is amazing.
yeah.
But you have another person, it's fine, and, you always have that. So I'm thinking that the person that doesn't have these challenges are the ones that are complaining that this is why we're late. And maybe there should be a banner, like we have on Facebook, be kind, be this, be that. And in the bus especially, remember, these are valuable passengers like yourself. Let's be kind or
Right.
something.
Yeah.
So that way, we're not always complaining.
That's actually a very good point. As you're talking about that, I'm thinking of, if there's some way to put up some type of, like, say, some type of verbiage or, even a poster or something like, proper securement of a mobility device so they can see all the steps that need to be taken. That way, as other passengers, like say, that walk onto the bus can see, oh, wait a second, this bus driver has to make sure that there's secure on the four wheels, 4 down, 3 around, as we call them, 4 down on the wheels, and then 3, over the shoulder and the belt. It does take time.
It
You know,
takes time,
yeah,
Even
yeah.
us, when we go on the bus and, we have a bag here and, as women, we secure the bag here and the place here and whatever. And then you're not even sitting down there and then, like, okay, now we can go.
Right. And it's not always the perfect, passenger either. There's different, like, different mobility devices, sizes, that they've got to try to deal with at the same time, So yeah, it does. It's a very good point. It does take some time and yeah.
Maybe a sign, like I said, besides that, and then saying, we will get you there. We'll guarantee we'll get you there. So that way they don't feel that, oh my goodness, I'm already late and,
Yeah, yeah. And part of it too is like, we try to be efficient at the same time. I've noticed that some of our older or our veteran riders that have been with the program for quite a number of years got used to being the only passenger on the bus or only 2 passengers on the bus during the pandemic. And now that those restrictions have been lifted, we're getting 5, 6, 7 people on a bus at one time. And so we're trying to be efficient, like when we pick up from our adult daycare centers and getting them all back to their home down in South County. It does take time. I can't just take one person because it doesn't make sense. It's not fuel efficient. It's not efficient for anybody. So yeah, unfortunately, if the person who's the furthest out, they get, the short end of the stick sometimes when it's on the bus for a long period of time. But, sometimes, like I say, we try to be efficient in that aspect and try to make everybody happy. And like I said,
Here's another idea, put a camera so they can entertain themselves like,
like on a plane, right? Have it behind the seat, little videos there. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Would it be, I don't know if it's possible in today's time with technology that's advancing so quickly, how you would have a reminder text for your delivery, your package is being delivered. In this case, using that same concept of your ride, it will be arriving within X amount of time. And also your ride has X amount of passengers, which will take you extra amount of time. So at least the person is having it in mind that I'm not the only one now on the bus, as I used to have the experience. Now I'm sharing the ride, and therefore the little caution of please be mindful or please be kind to those who are riding with you, so that you're not like upset that you're not arriving within whatever reasonable time they think it's reasonable.
Yeah, that's a really good point. We do have a system set up where the passenger will receive a phone call the day before just to confirm their reservation, and where they have the opportunity to accept it or decline it, or yep. And then there's another reminder that morning or the 10 minutes prior to their arrival time. Your bus is on its way. Please, get yourself prepared and all that. Adding the passenger count or how many passengers can be on your bus is a great thing, and I'll have to look into that, see if there's a way to do that.
Just so the person could be a little bit more mindful that you're not the only one, so be
Yeah,
patient.
no, that's a good point because we do get a lot of phone calls from clients saying, you know, am I gonna be the only one on the bus? You know, how many other people are you gonna be dropping off before me or after me? So we get a lot of calls of like that, especially from a lot of our you know, our experienced driver or passengers, I should say. I don't want to say veterans or older, but our experienced passengers, they call up quite a bit and they'll ask that question. You know, so that would be a good thing that we'll have to see if we can get that implemented somehow.
Yeah, especially if you're looking at the trips purposes and the trip taxi purposes. So
Mhm.
this way you can see where the numbers are increasing for dialysis, education training, medical, recreational, especially medical ones. I would say a little extra star there.
Yes, and that's one of the reasons why I really want us to hone into that a little bit more in depth when we are scheduling our reservations, so we have a clear idea as far as really what they are doing. You know, because we try to schedule our passengers on when we do our schedule the day before for our medical trips and our dialysis. We try to keep those passengers, you know, all together so because we know the importance of those appointments. Your leisure trips, like going to breakfast or lunch or dinner. Yeah, those passengers have a little more flexibility. And we do try our best to get them with the same, but if we can get this dialed in a little bit better, that would definitely help out when it comes to scheduling. Yeah.
Thank you.
Good questions.
The data on this report, do you have information on the breakdown of the age?
We do have it. I don't have it with me, but yes, we do have that capability. Yeah.
You know what the average age is?
Oh, boy.
That's okay.
I don't offhand. I don't know if do you know? Yeah.
No, the trends older for sure.
Yeah.
You know, probably
60.
I would say
Over
I would say, yeah, plus 60.
And then on the category, the education, training and daycare, for education, do you separate that out to say, is it like CSUMB, MPC, Hartnell, like community colleges or universities?
Yes, that's what we would separate that because if they're saying they're going to school, like say CSUMB or Hartnell, because we do have you know, a lot of passengers that go back and forth, you know, to the different campuses and things like that. Yeah.
So this is specifically then for an individual with disability or age that qualifies for this rides program. They call and they can be literally picked up every day to go from Salinas, let's say, North County, South County to Hartnell or MPC and that.
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of those passengers they have a subscription as we call it, and they have they'll go 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and they don't even have to call up. It's already scheduled for them, and they just know their bus is going to be there at 8:30, 9:30, whatever time they decide. They tell us or our mobility services when they fill out their application and go for their interview as far as what time they need to be picked up and dropped off, and that they get put on a subscription. And it saves them the time as having to call us as well.
Thanks for helping to educate me.
Oh, yeah, of
I'm
course.
still trying to learn like all these.
Yeah,
different
of course.
I know this is gonna be a little bit more forward in terms of tech, and I'm thinking of Uber, if you will, where you can see where exactly in the map the car is coming from. Is there an idea in the near future of doing something like that?
I believe we have an app that's in the works that we are in the kind of planning stages and trying to get that out there right now. We have it's in the test phase. We have a few of our clients that we have picked out so they can start booking their own trips and they can have it on the app, and it's still.
Which includes like who the driver is, male, female, whatever the case.
I don't know if it's going to go in that depth. I know that's a good point. Those are great questions. It's like, I feel like you've called up before and you've been one of our clients, because we get that. Who's going to be my driver today? Is it going to be this person? Going to be that person? Yeah. I don't want this person. I want this person because they're nicer to me, or, I had a bad experience, whatever it may be. But no, that's a great question, because we get that all the time too.
Great.
Who's it going to be today?
Well, I had experience for 6 months before I started Lions on Aging, and I rode the bus. And the drivers, I was very pleased because they tend to make you feel like important. You know, good morning, how are you? And then they remember you. How was your day? And then, you know, you start talking to them and everything. So that's the
Yeah.
plus part
Great
of
customer
of that.
service.
Mhm.
And then, of course, you have your, you know,
Oh,
person that is going to complain and this and that. So,
which reminds me, once again, going back to Uber, a star system of saying, how was your customer service with your driver? So that this way you can see how the quality of the service that's being provided and giving them credit where
Mhm.
credit is due.
Mhm. Those are fantastic ideas. I like them.
quick question.
Yeah.
So you recommend an early pickup and or drop off time based on peak hour traffic time? You know how everyone is supposedly fixing our roads, which I still haven't seen. Especially on Davis, and
Yeah.
I can't see it, I can.
Yeah.
So true.
Do you let them know, say, you know, due to traffic, this is why we're late, or? you know,
Expect X
all
amount
this
of
other
minutes
stuff.
late.
We do, our drivers will let them know, let the passenger know as they get on board, and, you know, or, you know, our dispatchers will also, you know, we get the memos that say, hey, you know, we have some road closures here, there's road, you know, construction over here by the courthouse, or, you know,
Let them know.
yeah, we let them know, yeah, and, you know, we can't really, we let them know. You know, but we can't, you know, if it's like a medical trip or something important that they have to be at, we can't, you know, obviously we can't deny the trip. If it's a leisure trip, we can be a little more negotiable with that. Hey, you know what, there's some traffic. Do you have to be there at 8 o'clock in the morning, you know, for your cup of coffee, or can you wait, you know, a couple hours before the traffic you know, so the traffic can die down with that road construction, yeah.
Thank you.
And then just the last one from my part. I know, sorry.
No, you're-
Great
you're
ideas for you
fine.
guys,
You're
great
fine.
ideas for you. And language preference. So when you're receiving your reminder text message, is there an opportunity when people register to say, what's your language preference? Just like you do it in voting, so that this way your message is in a language that's comfortable, of course, being mindful that the driver will speak either English, possibly Spanish, whatever the case might be. But let's say that I'm Vietnamese, or let's say, you know, the population within Monterey County, the message that you're receiving is within the language preference that you have.
English and Spanish. are the two
So just a thought.
Yeah,
There's
it's just
one
English and
language-
Spanish, right? We have for the notification, you can get it in English or Spanish. And there, we could, you know, and have that preference. As far as like other languages, we don't have that capability for the recording or the message. But if we do receive phone calls and it's something other than Spanish or English, and, you know, our dispatchers can't speak it, we go to Language Line. We have that direct number to them, and we can refer them over to them to help us out.
Wonderful.
All right.
Last question.
Oh, I like it.
Again, just to help educate myself. I thought I heard, from some of the community members that, we work with, that there is, or some of the agencies we work with, that there's a bus service, and I don't know if it's from MST, where they provide and coordinate with some agencies to do field trips for seniors, like to the aquarium or other places. Is that MST or is it another program?
That, yeah, we haven't done that.
If I can go ahead and chime in, that's actually through our department, so we can speak afterwards. It's through our travel training program.
There you go. All right.
All right, thank you, David.
All right, thanks, guys.
I'm glad you asked that question, because we're trying to arrange field trips for our seniors, so we will receive mobility updates from Christy.
Alrighty. Good afternoon, everyone. Christy Segovia, Mobility Services Manager. Just two couple updates, department related. As you know, Ruben is not here today. He and his family actually welcomed a baby girl recently, and so he'll be back in January, just in time for our January MAC meeting. Also, next month, our department, or MST, is actually going to be recruiting for a mobility specialist position. If you know anyone, once the posting goes out, refer them to MST. Unfortunately, mobility specialist Claudia, her last day is December 1st. Some of you may know her. She used to provide Mac support for us as well. She's moving to her new career, a job offer closer to home. She lives in Hollister. Okay, moving on to program updates. So as you know, MST Mobility has been recruiting for volunteers for the Navigator program. So the activities has been led by our mobility specialist, Kelly Soriano. She may actually be joining us right now via virtual. We successfully recruited 4 new volunteers, and we are working on getting 2 youth volunteers on board. So we're closing the year with a total of 6 volunteers. Yeah, and then in the coming year, so Mobility is working on expanding the travel training program to include what's called a bus buddy activity, where a volunteer mobility trainer is assigned to accompany a MST rider who would be able to continue exploring the MST transit system. And also, Mobility will be working on enhancing our outreach efforts to the veterans community. And this activity is going to be led by our mobility specialist, Caleb Aquino. Activities for that will include veterans group trips on the bus, as I mentioned earlier, on our bus system, continue participation with the Veterans Collaborative meetings, and staff presence at veteran service provider partner organizations. In the taxi voucher program, we've updated our mobility database where we are now able to provide immediate reminders and upload documents for the voucher distribution sites and our taxi cab companies. And then last for my update, I believe it was maybe a month, no, 2 meetings back, our member Maria Magana shared information about an MST rider who is a resident of the Montecito Senior Apartments, where in that scenario, that particular bus stop does not have a bench. The resident would end up using a bench that was actually closer to the Montecito apartment. So when the bus arrives, they don't see any passenger waiting at the bus stop. So then they end up missing that bus. So after reviewing that bus stop location, MST was able to install a 2-seat bench at that particular bus stop. So I didn't get a chance to email you, but here's my update. And I believe that's it for my update. If you have any question, I'll be happy to answer them.
So I need to purchase more rides tickets. Are the rides still $2?
Yes.
Do you guys sell
tickets.
the $2 tickets now, or do I still have to buy the $1 ones?
So it's a $2 ticket.
$2 ticket, okay.
And they're in booklets.
Booklets,
Mhm.
okay, perfect.
And that can be purchased through our customer service.
All right, thank you, Christy.
Oh, last, I forgot.
Yep.
We actually got our new mobility services brochure. It has all our information on our mobility programs. So I'll share this with each one of you. And if you need more than one, just let me know and we can arrange for delivery to your organization. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you. All right, subject item requests for items on the future agenda being January 31st. All right, none. Announcements and appreciations.
I won't do that because I'll take over the time.
All right, so we'll adjourn at 1:50 and we will see everybody back January 31st, 2024.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, and all of you have happy